Holy shit! Well, it's finally here. Footage of the Resident Evil 9 demo from Gamescom was released a few days ago, and I'm extremely excited to go over it. I've already seen several videos commentating over the demo's gameplay. However, I wanted to give my take on what was shown and point out a few things I noticed, as well as a few things I'm hoping to see when the game is finally released. I'll leave links in the description below of all the video clips I used in case anybody wants to see the demo without commentary. Now, as we get into the demo, we get a glimpse of Grace's CIA training as she tries to keep a cool head and figure her way out of a tough situation. Also, I want to point out real quick, throughout the demo, the camera will be switching between first and third person, which I am very grateful to see. This is because I was a little more than worried when I first heard you could switch between both angles freely, but we'll get into that in a little bit. When Grace is finally free, we get to see all the detail Capcom has been hyping up with this game. And wow, it is beautiful, like stunningly beautiful. I think most people are going to need new GPUs and possibly even new monitors to fully appreciate this game's level of detail. You'll also notice just how dark this part of the game is. And I really hope this level of atmosphere is kept throughout the entire game, not just this one section. We quickly find an empty bottle on the floor and see it has specs, both power and radius. Power is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm curious if radius refers to how far you can throw the bottle, or how far the sound travels once the bottle is broken. This is also a good time to point out the weapon select menu is the exact same as Resident Evil 4 Remake, and that the item menu is practically the same one we've had since Resident Evil 2 Remake. We'll also see in a second, once the lighter is found, that it slots nicely in the top spot. This is very reminiscent of older Resident Evil games where the lighter occupied the top of the inventory. I don't think visual details are the only thing Capcom will be focusing on in this game. I believe sound design will also be an important part of Resident Evil 9's development, and is arguably even more important in what makes a game scary. It's here in the demo I noticed something kind of interesting. If you look in the background, right above Grace's head, you can see a statue that looks very similar to the maiden statue in Resident Evil 1. This, combined with the unicorn statue from Resident Evil 2 Remake, makes me believe we're going to see a lot of, well, I don't want to necessarily say reused assets, but how about nods to older games? And why not? With the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil next year, it only makes sense Capcom would be doing everything they can to allude to their previous games. And I already think they're doing a great job of this by having Grace Ashcroft as the main character.
He's dead. You know, I'm infected.
We've come back to the point where our new stalker enemy is introduced, and holy shit, this is an introduction. I cannot wait to see more of this enemy, and I really hope it continues to follow Grace throughout the game and not just in this one section. Also, on top of that, I really hope they make this creature's AI smarter than previous stalker enemies. Let it toy with Grace. Let it find ways to destroy lights in safe areas where it otherwise wouldn't be able to go.
What the fuck?
One thing I'm happy to see is there's finally a reason the stalker enemy can't enter a safe room. The days of Mr. X awkwardly sticking his head into the safe room to make sure Leon is doing okay are finally gone. I want to circle back around real quick and talk about first and third person camera angles. When I originally heard you could switch between them seamlessly, this worried me. I kind of thought maybe Capcom had built this game from the ground up with first person in mind and just happened to throw in third person, but it seems like that's not the case. I do honestly believe they designed this game from conception with both camera angles in mind. And you can see that in this scene here, where Grace is running away from our new stalker enemy and she trips and falls.
What the fuck?
I hope they add a lot more detail like this in the game for people who prefer to play in third person. But it really seems like no matter how you decide to play, this is going to be an amazing experience from beginning to end. When Grace returns to the room where the monster was previously hiding, we get to preview our new full heal item. First aid sprays and bottles of moldy goo are being replaced with med injectors, a more modern solution that resembles something like an EpiPen.
Oh my
A
god.
green herb can also be found in the demo, but there's been no mention of red or blue herbs. Maybe these will also be added, but only time will tell. Next is a scripted moment where Grace has to move a cart. This is to obtain a key item needed to progress the demo. While moving the cart, supplies start falling off. This, of course, alerts the monster.
Oh, not this way, not this way, not this way.
This leads us to the last part of the demo, where we obtain the fuse. And in my opinion, this is the best part of the demo. This is where Capcom breaks the mold of typical Resident Evil games and throws us a curveball. A room we once thought safe is now rendered useless when the light that was protecting us shatters from a thunderstrike. I think it's important to note that out of the 3 cutscenes we get in this demo, one of them is in first person, while the other 2 are in third. This is an interesting choice on the part of Capcom. I can't recall the last time a Resident Evil game had a first person cutscene outside of Resident Evil 7 and 8. It might have been in Resident Evil 5 when you die during the first section of the game with the Executioner. But maybe I'm forgetting a few. If I am, please let me know in the comments. There's still so many things to go over with this demo, but I want to save some of them for when it's available for everyone to play. But that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.